Hey everybody. Okay, so this is my first live streaming. I don't really totally know what I'm doing, so I'm looking for feedback from you. Oh, you know what? One quick thing I'm going to do is put in focus this page. So I've got 3 screens going. So if someone texts me, I should be able to see it also. So let's go ahead and go through PowerPoint. I'm going to keep my talking software off so I don't have RAM competition. And I will give you the commands in PowerPoint presentations. So they have some pretty incredible new features, which I absolutely love. Now, if you're blind, let me just tell you that PowerPoint starts out with a white background and black text. Very boring. So when you first get in, a couple of options that you have is you have a design option. So I want you to just immediately hit your applications key. And that's right click for most sighted people. And you can up arrow to format background. And this is one of the most simple stages that I always start kids out before I actually move them to a design tab, which is Alt G to get to design. I'll do that in a minute. So right now, applications key, up arrow 1 time says format background, and I hit enter. And a side pane opens. So you understand the layout of PowerPoint. On the left-hand side, you have thumbnails. And the reason why it's important to know directions, left, center, right, is because if you want to move fluidly throughout your whole screen, F6 will do that. And if you understand where you're at, then you'll know whether you need to do F6 or Shift F6. So I'm all the way to the right now. Thumbnails is on the left. Your slide view area takes up, the majority of your screen. And then on the right is your side view pane. And I'm going to go ahead and tab 1 time. You do need to tab 1 time, and you can actually use lettering. So if you just want to jump to your color right now, you could hit C. But I actually want to go ahead and hit G for gradient. Solid colors are basically solid, but if you hit gradient, right off the bat, you have a beautiful bluish. Bluish is the default, and it goes from a light blue all the way down to a medium, and then a darker, and then a medium. It's really nice. If you wanted to change the color on that, you could hit C at that point and change it to color. But where I start my students is I say pick a color, and it's either a solid color or gradient, and then you want to tab to apply to all. I'm already going to tell you, so I'm going to take my mouse so people see. It's all the way down at the very, very bottom. Otherwise, you will be changing the color to every single slide. And for ease, and especially when you begin, and even when you do a major presentation, don't make it too busy. So Shift Tab is actually going to be faster because I want to jump to the bottom. So it's either like 20 tabs or just a few Shift Tabs. So I Shift Tab, and it's about 4 Shift Tabs, and apply to all. And I hit Enter, and now it's going to apply to all. Now I'm going to tell you, close that side pane, because if you do not, you're back in your slide view range, and then you're going to hit your applications key to go do something, and you'll think that it's not open. Well, what happens is it is open, but the command won't work. So you're going to Control Space, and you hit C to close that slide view area range. Okay, so now the biggest disadvantage that the blind have had in PowerPoint or anything else in positioning pictures is you're not really sure where the picture is going to be placed. We have placeholders, which are great, so you can insert your pictures, but you have to keep them small if they're small. So let's go ahead and just start with the title, and I tab in, and it will say placeholder. So let's just type title, make it easy. You need to escape twice to get out of your placeholder, and then you tab twice, and when you tab once, you're going to hear that that was your title. But I want to tab again, and then I'm going to put by, enter, Denise M. Robinson. Hit escape twice, and then Control M, think more, Control M, is going to make a new slide. Automatically, the default is a title and 1 content. If you want to change your content, you can hit your applications key, and you can hit L, and the 3 main items, title, slide, you always have title, slide, but the next 2 are title and content, and title and to content. So if you're going to type text, and typically you do as a student, you're going to hit left arrow 1 time and down arrow 1 time, almost always. because the default is going to one content, and you're going to hit enter. And you have two content now. So we're going to tab placeholder. It's title placeholder. So we're going to put abacus. Okay. And then escape twice to get out of your placeholder. And now tab to get to your text and type text here. Type text here. Okay. Escape twice to get out. And now you're going to tab to your next placeholder, and we're going to insert a picture. And you insert, our insert tab is Alt-N, pictures P. So you're going to do Alt-N and then P for your picture. And we're going to go ahead and just type in abacus. I have several. Let's just go down. And just so you know, when you actually start typing, I went to the pictures. That is my default, so my picture is open. If you know the name of the picture, I just typed AB, and all my abacus options opened up, and then you can down arrow through them and pick the one you want and hit enter, and it inserts the abacus. Now, the abacus is fairly small, and what you'll typically want to do is enlarge it. Unfortunately, if you enlarge it, it will take it outside your placeholder. So what I would tell my students to begin with, if they wanted to do this by themselves, which is the whole point, leave it small, and then when you hit F5 to run your presentation, it's a little bit bigger, but not ideal, but now it is. Now, sighted people just noticed huge design ideas open up on the right-hand side now. I call this new, but you know, new within a year is new. It's incredible. So even if you had one content and you Alt-N-P and you inserted a picture, just know that picture will always end up directly in the middle of your slide. It doesn't matter anymore. Even if you forget, it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to tell you, even with the design tab open, you are not in it. You're going to have to hit F6 to jump over to your design ideas. Sighted people are already looking at this going, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I'm just going to move down. You would, of course, down arrow and hit enter on it. But I'm going to move down. I'm going to click on them just so the sighted people can actually see the different options. In this, you actually have graphics and geometry. You have circles, you have rectangles and half circles, and just a lot of really nice design features. Better yet, the picture is automatically enlarged. So the design ideas take that picture and make it the correct size for you and position it in a placeholder perfectly. Now, once you pick your option, again, you want to control space and you want to see to close those side view options. Now when you tab around, what you absolutely want to do is alt text any pictures. This is also a new feature. It's really great. So you're going to hit your applications key, and we now have what's called edit alt text. So I'm going to up arrow, and the reason why I up arrow is because all the features are at the bottom of a dialog box. And if you understand how your options open, it's a big long rectangle. If your options are at the top, great, up arrow. But if they're at the very bottom, you can either down arrow 10, 15 times depending on the size of it, or you can up arrow, which is like a big circle, and you pop to the bottom and then go up. So we're going to hit enter on edit text, and it tries to take a guess at what this is. And the guess it took was a circuit board. Yeah, I'm already going to tell you, blind items, not the greatest, not the greatest. Anyway, you're going to tab into that, and you're just going to type in abacus. And then you want to remember to close your box, control space and C. And now when you tab around, it's not just going to say object or graphic. It's going to say picture of an abacus, which is great. So now blind students no longer have to just listen to graphic, graphic, object, object. You can alt text all information. So let's just go through a few more picture items which are really rockin' cool. So let's go ahead and do Control M, think more. And now let's go to one content and show you what happens when you forget to do two content, you know? Vision reminds us, oh, you've got two content here, but we humans, we forget really easily. So we're going to go ahead and tab in, and we're going to type in forget. Okay, you're going to forget that you forgot to do that. You're going to go ahead and tab to your placeholder, tab twice, Escape twice always out of your placeholders, and more text. Ooh, comma. I'm actually going to leave that mistake there because I'm going to show you how to fix that in a minute. So I'm going to hit escape out, and let's say I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture, completely forgot to place that. And I'm going to tell you it's going to end up in the center of that slide. So I'll NP, and let's go ahead and type in another abacus. And there it is. And it's right in the center. And visually, you'll even see alt text a circuit board. Okay, so visually it tells you that is the alt text that chose for it. We already know that it's going to alt text it incorrectly. So you're going to F6, over to your options, and once again, you're going to go through your options and pick the option that you want. You're going to Control Space out of there and C to close, and you're back in your slide view. And now the picture is highlighted. It's telling you it's a circuit board, which is incorrect. So you're going to hit your Applications key, Edit Alt Text, which happens to be A is the Alt key, or you up arrow to edit Alt Text, and it says a circuit board. Okay, and let's just say this is going to be a small abacus. Okay, remember to close it, Control Space, C to close, and you're back. Now you've got a mistake in this. So you're going to escape out, you're going to tab to your mistake. When you actually move around, and there are different ways. If I start to type right now, what happens is everything in that box will erase. It's fascinating because it will be selected when you're using your talking software. It'll actually say selected, and it would say comma or. So you'd immediately know, oh, I misspelled that word. So what you want to do is you hit one letter. So I'm going to hit one letter, and then I'm going to go ahead and left arrow back to my comma. I'm going to erase it and put an M. So just so you know, you're going to take a chance if you start typing a whole bunch or you copy and paste, because JAWS or talking software has a tendency to select all of your items. And you'll hear him say selected, da 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 da. Well, you start hitting a whole bunch of letters, you're going to erase it. You can hit your right arrow also, left arrow. I'm already going to tell you, it totally depends on the hardware. Every kid's computer is slightly different. When I'm telling you that you have to hit F6 over there with your design ideas, not every computer. I have quite a few computers of students who don't, so they don't have to hit F6. Design ideas open, they're over there. They can immediately start moving. I have other kids with different hardware, they always have to hit F6 over there. Correcting items, same thing. You have automatic selections. Okay, so let me go over to some questions now because we've got people typing. Okay, and once again, I'm new and I'm trying to look at that. I think I actually have to go to my viewer to see if I've got, okay, I'm going to select that option out. So I'm using my keyboard commands because I see people texting, and because I'm new to stream, I actually can't read above that line. So I'm using my keyboard commands, and I do all the time. So I actually went over to my viewing range. Actually, I'll move it into position so you can actually see my live stream. So here's my live stream. And if you're blind, I'm going to tell you it's in the top right-hand corner, and I can only see a few words. And I'm like, well, I have no idea. I can't move around. It's not moving around. Why? I don't know, because I'm new, okay? It's not hard. I can already tell you as soon as you figure out the commands, it's not going to be hard. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit, and I'm going to open Word. That on my keyboard, it's going to be Windows key 1. So this is another trick. If you have your icons pinned on your taskbar, Windows T will get you down there. Whatever in the first slot is Windows 1 to open. Windows 2 opens my Firefox. Anyway, I'm on a blank document. I'm going to hit enter on this. I'm going to paste what people are asking me so I can actually see. Okay, so we've got, is there an easier way to add pictures descriptions under a picture instead of going through the ribbon, because that is so difficult to do sometimes? Okay, so I may have answered that question since I am not completely sure when you asked that. So if you want to re-ask that question again, if I did not answer that well enough, please tell me so. And I will go through and add more descriptions on pictures so you can actually see that you do not have to go into your ribbon. And you are so correct, Lydia. That ribbon can be wow, incredibly confusing. So I'm going to show you another absolutely incredible feature of Office 2016. I'm going to tell you this is a 365 edition. So if you actually go to your Alt-G, and you're going to check this out, and visually I'm going to tell you, see, it's all the way very, very end, so you'd have to do a lot of tabbings to get there, or you hit D and it says Design Ideas, then your Design Ideas open. If you do not have D, then you just have regular Home Edition 2016. I always get professional. It really is worth the extra money. I'm just going to tell you, the blind accessibility, and I don't even think the organizations know how incredible the accessibility options are. I'm not sure they thought of it as accessibility options. I know they're thinking, oh, design ideas. We're just going to give sighted people a whole lot of design ideas. Little did they know that blind people have a terribly difficult time inserting pictures perfectly. Design ideas, flawless. All my students, completely blind. They actually know how to go in, and I will show you how to do that and what browser you need to do to get your own pictures and label them. It's incredible. My blind students do this all perfectly. And the first couple of years, they'll actually send them to me and say, is this fine? And then they just stop sending to me because they know they can do it flawlessly. So now I'm going to get to you. If you do not have that, you can't upgrade what you have. Okay, so let's go over more picture items, because editing them and adding alt text can be an issue. I pretty much stay out of the, a lot of times stay out of the ribbon. And let me show you another feature. So I'm going to Control M. If you do not know a command, let's say you forget that design command. You know, this Denise Robinson person talked about, oh my gosh, adding alt text or whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. So 2016 and 365 had added this feature. So I want you to do an Alt Q, and it basically says, tell me what you want me to do for you. Okay, so I'm going to do Alt Q in here. And it basically says, tell me what you want to do. So let's say you have completely forgot how to do your design features. And you're going to type in design, and you down arrow, and it says design ideas. It gives you the design ideas, and you hit enter and it opens. Now, it actually closed on me because I had already opened it. So I'm going to do it again so you can actually, those sighted people can actually see it, and I'll be your JAWS. So I'm going to type in D-E-S-I-N-G, yeah, D-E-S-I-G-N, and down arrow one time to design ideas. You can even down arrow one time to format background if you forget your applications key, and then up arrow format background. That Alt Q will take you anywhere. So hit enter on that, and design ideas open. Once again, know your F6. So you can F6 around, and you're going to hear thumbnails, you're going to hear your slide view range, and you're going to hit F6 and jump to your design ideas. So let's go ahead, and we're going to do another picture. So I'm just going to tab one time to my title, and I'm going to escape out, and I'm going to tab to add a picture. Alt-N-P. Let's go over alt text again. Oh gosh, how about truck rim? I think that's probably something that I broke, and I had to send it to my brother to, yeah, fix. God bless my brother. Yep, sure enough. Actually, it's something that my husband broke. So he rolled up on something and cracked his wheel frame. Yeah, that was an expensive picture. Okay, so right off the bat, if you've typed text anyplace, and I'm just going to tell you, those design ideas make your presentations so much more entertaining. So let's just say I already popped over F6, picked my picture, but we're working on alt texting information. So I'm hitting my applications key. If in doubt, I'm just going to tell you, hit that applications key. The option you want is probably under there. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to up arrow. Hold on, got a student calling. Even though the student knows I'm actually doing a live, which is really hilarious. My students know everything what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm up arrowing, and it says edit alt text. Now, what most people are familiar with is size and position. If you do not have an updated version, you're not going to have the edit alt text. So let's go ahead and go to size and position, which has been part of Office forever and a day. So we're going to hit enter on size and position. Now I have design ideas and format picture open. I'm already going to tell you, you probably have to hit F6 twice to get over there because I did not close my design ideas. So you're going to hit F6, and when you get over here, you need to go to size and properties. That is the default. But what happens is the kids start going left and right, and they will get off. They'll go to picture, they'll go to effects, they'll go to fill in line, and then they'll forget where they're at. It won't do any good. Those will be colors and sizes and fonts, but that's not what you want. You want to go to size and position. Now you tab in, and this is how a blind person knows the size of this picture. PowerPoints are ginormous. Now the height of this picture is 3 inches, 3 inches and a third. That's a pretty good size. And I always tell the kids in PowerPoint, you want them around between 3 and 4 inches. So they always have that in their mind. So they go to their scale options and they listen to the height and they tab, and the width is 4.44. That's a really good size picture. That's actually perfect. So that's what my blind students have to understand. You need to know the size of your picture so it's going to look good. If it's smaller than that, you know you must use your design ideas to position it correctly. Because if you have a 1.5 by 1 picture, it's not going to look great. But your design ideas now take care of that. So now they want to alt text this. They could tab, oh my gosh, maybe 10 times to get down to alt text visually. Sighted people can already see alt text there. What I always tell my kids is I want to go ahead and shift tab and go up, because it's only like 4 shift tabs and you're down by alt text. And actually the description is perfect. A close-up of a wheel. We love that. If it was not a good alt text, I'm going to tell you, I'm really impressed with what Microsoft has done there. A lot of alt text is really spot on. So it did get it, that this is a close-up of a wheel. It is. I had to take a close-up of the wheel and the hubcap. So when I sent it in, this was his Christmas gift, because that wheel I think cost 650 bucks. But I got it secondhand, good old salvage yard, for like 150. Anyway, I had to send it to the salvage yard because he had been using his spare, would look terrible. So that was his surprise Christmas gift. But that did a close-up of a wheel. Yeah, because it's something typical and normal. So basically the alt text is going to be spot on if it's very typical and normal. Blindware, not so much. So you can keep that alt text. You're going to pop right in the box and it's going to say description generated with high confidence. On other pictures, you're going to see low confidence, and you're already going to know they're not going to get it, but you're going to hear what they called it. So there you go. But anyway, that's how you're going to know the size of picture if it's good. Well, this picture is centered directly in the middle of the page. It looks silly. So even if you just have a title and a page. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick a design. You could actually just shift F6 back 1. And what it actually does is it puts a frame around the picture. And then of course the title is to the right hand side with a picture. So that's a really nice feature. Once again, you want to make sure you control space and C to close your side options. Okay, let me go back to more questions. And okay, thanks, not that I mind going to the ribbon, it just takes so much time. No, you're absolutely right. That ribbon is, wow. Okay, let's see what other options. Let me answer some more and go over here. I'll have to figure out why I can't read up there. Okay. Yeah, so what I always tell my students is you do want to, more questions about the ribbon, how long it takes to format. That Alt Q is going to actually solve your problem now, so you don't have to go up and tab through all the ribbon trying to find your information anymore. And then of course, after you finish your presentation, you actually hit F5 to run the presentation. Now, what is really nice with these presentations is you don't want transitions in here. You want to be able to take complete control of it. So my students have a little earbud in their ear to the PowerPoint, and the other one is to the classroom, and they just hit spacebar and move through. So their talking software will actually tell them the heading of that slide. It'll actually read the whole slide. But I tell the students, don't sit there and re-listen to the whole slide. You need to memorize it. So the title is going to clue you in on what the rest of the slide is about, and then you can just hit your space bar and smoothly move through your presentation. And the presentation looks so professional. The teachers are just floored when my students hand this in because they think they had tons of help in it, and they did not. Let's go ahead and do a different presentation with a different type of design. So as you grow in confidence, I am going to do a Control N here, and I am going to go to the Design tab and actually pick a fancy design. And what you want to do is memorize the critical commands because there's thousands, and anybody who's a keyboard user will know that. And that's the reason why we have Alt-Q now, to help you remember some of those. So I want you to go ahead and hit Alt-G. I know, these new commands, they're nothing like, God bless Office 2003. Oh my gosh, phenomenal commands right off the bat. But you're going to do Alt-G to design and H to your themes. And if you're using these commands over and over and over, the major ones, you will remember them. So Alt-G, H to your themes, and your themes open. And the Talking software does a really nice job of telling you what the themes are. It doesn't matter what color they are in the themes. A sighted person's going to come up and say, oh, that's a green theme. Well, let me show you how you're going to change that. So I down arrowed into my options, and of course the first option is always white background with black. So I'm going to go ahead and left arrow and enter on a theme, and it is a beautiful green, but let's say you don't want green. So then you're going to go ahead and go to your Format Background Colors. So you're going to go ahead and hit your Applications key, and you're going to up arrow to your Format Background. And here we are. Now you have to remember, as soon as you drop in a theme, you have your Theme tab over, your Design Ideas open, which you do want to choose your design, but now we opened your Format Background. So depending on your hardware, it either popped you directly into your Format Background, which mine did, but I have students that do not. And so they're going to F6 one time, end up in their Design Ideas, and my young ones, you know, they're going to say, oh, but I know I opened Format Background. And I'll say, now remember, you have to hit F6 again, and you jump over. So this is a picture or texture fill, but you can actually change the color by going to your gradient. Let's say you want to do a gradient. You can either do a solid fill color. You're going to continue to hit Tab or C for color, and you can go ahead and choose any color you want. You have your gradient stops above that, and it will actually tell you green, green, pink, 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 pink. So that's really nice. You have those options there, and it tells you the position, and you can continue to tab all the way to apply to all. So that just adds a much fancier type of design background. And then of course your options over to your Design Ideas get very fancy. You have to remember, each time you do a design idea, the color options will change, but typically they're off of the same theme that you started with also. So that's really a nice option. Okay, so that is some of the new features, the Alt-Q, love it. Design Ideas, once again, you're going to do your Alt-G right off the bat in PowerPoint. See if you have the D, Design Ideas. You can also Alt-Q. If you type in Design and you down arrow and Design's not there, you don't have the Professional or 365, or you have the older version of 2016, and you can just update your Office. Alt F4 gets you out of everything, and of course it's going to ask you if you want to save it, and you just say no. I hope you enjoyed the first PowerPoint. Please do text me or email me. Email me at deniserob@gmail.com, DENISEROB@gmail.com. And I'm going to start doing a lot more live streaming. I figure it's just a faster way to hit a whole lot more people at one time to help more. Okay, it's been a lot of fun, and we will talk to you later. Bye. And